Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Mela Braika, and today we're studying God's commissioning or calling of Jacob. This is a very interesting passage because if we had to think about who Jacob was and what he had done, he had swindled his brother from the birthright, and now he's on the lam. He's running for his life, heading up to Padan Aram, and you're going to be meeting up with Laban, and of all the people that you're going to have to deal with, those two are made for each other. They spend a lot of time trying to beat out each other on the way they did things. And then finally he had to escape from Laban. He returned to the land here. And of all the servants of the Lord, I'd say this is the one that had to go the furthest in terms of straightening up his life. I found in ministry that when you have or you're working with somebody who used to be a gang leader or used to be working for a drug gang, in fact, when those people convert to Christ and then become faithful in service to the Lord, they've come a long ways, and they can do a lot of things too because they have a skill set that many other people don't have. So the Lord will convert those people. Not a whole lot of them. I would say in all of the years of ministries, I've only met a few of them. But yeah, it does happen, and when it happens, wow, lots of power coming through the Holy Spirit to convert somebody like that. So here is Jacob, the one who grabs the heel, the sneaky one, and the Lord is appearing to him in a vision here on his journey from Beersheba up to Padan Aram. So, and at one point he does declare, "Surely Jehovah is in this place." This is when Jacob recognizes that he has really been speaking with Jehovah. So let's get on with the study. I have this one from a previous study. He dreamed, and behold, there was a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. V'yechalom, v'hine shulam, mezav, aratza, ve'rosho, migeah hashemayma, v'hine malchei Elohim olim ve'yordim bo. I have the hey sign placed twice here and there. Here's to remind us that hine appears twice. Okay, hine. Hey, take a look at this. Behold. English translators will go, behold, or take a good look at this. Okay, hands up in the air. Something special coming here. Okay, hine shulam. Okay, hey, take a good look. Ladder standing there. Staircase heading up to heaven. Boy, that's an interesting vision. And behold, there were angels going up and down that ladder. Up and down, up and down. Earth had been connected with heaven. And now, yeah, Jacob could see all of that. And also have the hay here. And I put these here because of Aratza, towards the earth, and towards the heavens. Okay, these are the directional hays. In other words, when you see this arm is pointing to something. Go that way. So go towards heavens, go to earth, and go towards the heavens, going towards a consonant right here. And behold, Jehovah stood above it, and he said, I am Jehovah, the God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land in which you lie, I will give to you and to your offspring. So here comes a promise from Jehovah. And again, we have hine, okay, behold, arms stretched out. I haven't repeated that one again here, but here it is. Hine Yehovah, nishav alav, vayomer ani Yehovah, Elohai Avraham ve'avicha ve'ul Elohai Isaac ha'aretz asher ata shokev aleha lecha et tenena u lejerecha. And behold, Jehovah, and then here, yeah, Jehovah, Nitzav, he was stood above it. Nitza is to stand, and it's to stand in a sense of authority. He's an overseer above it. And alav, this alav here, the reference to this it here would be the ladder with the angels going up and down. But also another reference here would be Jacob himself. In other words, he was standing above Jacob. In other words, this is also a possibility of where this pronoun is referenced, or where its antecedent would be, could also be Jacob. So both will work, and here the translation will have to select whether God was standing above the ladder or standing above. Anyway, either way, he is standing above Jacob, and he's about to give a message to him that he needs to hear. Vayomer, and he said, Ani Yehovah, I am Jehovah. This is a short form of the first person pronoun. The short form is Ani, the longer form is Anochi. And we're going to continue the study here, and then coming up will be a longer form of it. And in modern Hebrew, Ani is sort of the personal form, and Anochi is the formal form of it. And I think in Hebrew we wouldn't make the biblical Hebrew wouldn't make the same distinction, but we would make it as a little bit more simpler form and more emphatic form. Okay, so that's, even though I'm not going to say it's one's informal, one's formal, but there is a sense, there's certain progress here as to what's happened. So you're going from a brief, the shorter form to the longer form here in this first person pronoun, and I'll point that out when we get to it. Ani Yehovah, Elohai Avraham, God of Abraham, this construct form. The form, or the morphology, is plural. The sense is singular, of course, if you're talking about the true God. So, Elohai, Abraham, Avicha, your father, your person. This is actually then, your grandfather. So, but he's the one that is starting out this process. So, this particular call here is something that the Lord has given, first of all, to Abraham, and then it's passed on to Isaac. Now it's coming down all the way to Jacob. Jacob is told the birthright, but the Lord has chosen him for service and for carrying out the covenant and for moving forward the whole matter of being the people of God. So it's Abraham, Avicha, Elohai, Isaac, Isaac. Now here comes the promise. Notice there's an atna right here, so we're just going to stop right there. In fact, put a period here in the translation, and then we go haaretz, the earth, the land. Yep, the land. Okay. Asher ata, where you, shokev, are lying. You're trying to sleep among the rocks there. Elecha, towards on it. Okay, so this is feminine here. And then the antecedent of this on it will be this hey here. Pronoun, suffix pronoun here, the antecedent of this one is over here. Lecha, to you, et tena, I am giving it. Okay, so you have Natan, Nun Tamnun, Nun has gone through a pharisee, and then you have prefixed aleph for the first person here. Et tana, I will give it. Le zerecha, and to your seed, to your offspring. Okay, so to you and to your offspring. And this one's to you, and this one's to your offspring, your seed, those who come after you. This is before he's even married. And your offspring will die like the dust of the earth, and you shall spread abroad to the west, to the east, to the north, to the south, and in you and your offspring shall all the families of the earth be blessed. I put the hey here 4 times because the directional hey appears actually 4 times in this particular line. Very, very interesting. And we're going to get into some of the detail of what it means to go to the west, what it means to go to the east, what it means to go to the north, what it means to go to the south. Vehaya zerecha ka'afar haaretz u paratzta yama ve'kedhema va'sofona va'negeva ואני ברכו בך כל משפחות האדמה ובזרעך. And behold, again, hands up in the air, take a look. One of these would help for that. Zerecha, your seed, your offspring, literally your seed. Kafar, as the dust, same word that's used when the Lord tells Adam, hey, you're going to return to the dust. But here, dust symbolizes there's a lot of dust in the world. It's going to be an enormous descendants here. You're going to have lots and lots of people descend from you. Kafar, as the dust, haaretz, of the earth. Paratzta, the paratz is to spread out. We even see it in the vision that they saw at Babylon, uparsim, to spread out, to scatter. Okay? It's of the two sons of Tamar, one of them was Peretz, and he's the one that spread. It kind of exploded. So Paretz. So yeah, he is. You will spread out. You will extend. In fact, in one of the stories of Eglon, when he's murdered, his insides, boom, explode. Paretz. Okay, a very, how you say it? A very descriptive word here. Paretzka, and you will spread out. You will, spread abroad. And then you have 4 directions here, and 4 cardinal directions, and each one of these has symbolism, and we'll start with, all of them have blessings and difficulties. So Yama, okay? Yam is sea, okay, the sea. What sea are we talking about? We're talking about the sea that's off to the west, the Mediterranean Sea. That's the sea. If you're going to run away from the Lord like Jonah did, if you're going to get lost in the open waves and so in the storms like Paul did and so forth, that's the sea. Now, to the Jewish people, that was very much a barrier, but over time, as it says right here, no, you're going to go out over that sea, even though Jewish people don't like sailing. So off you go, off to the west. And during the ministry of Jesus, Jewish people always sort of thought, oh, God has to remain here in Palestine. But Jesus, and a couple of times, made an effort to get to the coast. In fact, going out to Emmaus was heading towards the west. And that direction then says, this is where the gospel is going to go. And it did. The Apostle Paul most certainly obeyed this matter of going to the west, head off to the west. He went as far west as he could go, wanted to get all the way out to Spain. So Yamach, to the west, and that's where difficulties are, but most certainly the way will be open for you. But Kedma, and towards, all of these are directional hays here. You got a directional hay, directional hay, directional hay, directional hay, okay? Yama, Kedma, Sophona, and Negebada. So Kedma, this is the east. Same word is also used for old, ancient, and so it works both in time and in direction. So back to the old place, and Kedma is where the Garden of Eden was. It's where the cultures of knowledge, the knowledge of the worldly knowledge, actually, of Babylon and the Mesopotamian areas, that's where that was. And incidentally, even Abraham had come from the Kedma. That's where he had come from. You come from the east, so you come, and so you're bringing tradition with you. You're bringing knowledge and teaching with you. And it was no surprise, it was at all, that the Magi came from the east. They're the ones that had been studying the stars. They're the ones that had a good knowledge of what happens in the heavens. They came from the Kedma. That's where they came from. So that's where you're going to go. And in a sense, when the Jewish people were sent out into the world, they were sent into exile to the Kedma, towards the east. They were sent as slaves out to Babylon and Assyria and so forth. So That's towards the east, Kedma. And Bashafona, Shafona is the north, okay, Shafon. And every time the Jewish people consider what happened towards the north, yeah, that's where disaster comes at you. This is where when the Assyrians and when the Babylonians came in from Mesopotamia, they attacked from the north, Shafona. So the north is a symbol of where destruction comes from, and you're going to go towards that destruction. So, wow, Shafona. But Negeva, and this is to the south. The Negev, of course, is also the same name for the desert. That's towards the south, towards the desert areas. And when the people of God wanted to meet up with God, Elijah and Moses, and so wanted to be face to face with God, they're off to the south, Negevba, and this is where you get face to face with God. When David had to flee Saul, he fled to the south, and when he was writing his psalms and so forth, and looking up into the heavenly hosts, close to God when you're towards the south. And so they're very symbolic. Heading towards the south is heading towards the desert, and in the desert, in meditation and looking to heavenly hosts, you come face to face with God. So very symbolic here. You got people heading into difficult places, heading into ancient places, heading into dangerous places, heading into places where you get face to face with the Lord. So all of these directions have strong symbolic values to them. So ne baruch, and you will be a blessing. This is repeating what we see with God's call to Abram. You will be a blessing in you, beha, kol, and they will be blessed. It's a reflexive here with a nun. Okay, ne barachu, and will be blessed in you, kol, this comes out mishpachot. Shafat is a servant. Okay, shafat. Mishpachot is it's translated as families. It also means servant groups. So in other words, another translation of this one can also be clans or groupings that are working together, people who are in service together. So families, if they're working together, fine. Mishpachot. Clans, if they're working together, fine. That also works as well here. But it's the concept of being in service together. Okay, Kol Mishpachot Adama, of the earth. Now we've been using Aretz all along here, Aretz, and then all of a sudden it's an interesting swap out here. They are parallel concepts here, not one contrasting the other, but they are parallel here. Adama, of the earth. Okay, and this is of course what we find all the way back in Genesis. You have Adam, who is Mr. Earth, and then Adamah, that is the earth. That's the land. That's actually the ground that's underneath you. It's derived from Adam, the being red, the red earth. So Adamah, to the earth. Bezerecha, in your seed, in your descendants, those who are descending from you, all these families will receive blessings. They will be nebarachu, through your seed. That is, those born of here Jacob will be a blessing to all the nations of the earth. And this promise was given to Abraham. This promise is now given here to Jacob. This promise was fulfilled in what happened with the birth of our Lord and Savior, because through him the gospel has gone to all the nations of the earth. And so this is very much in fulfillment of the prophecy that was given to Jacob here. Behold, I'm with you. Okay, Anochi. Like I said before, we saw a shorter form of this one, Ani, and all of a sudden we see a longer form of it, a little more stronger, longer form of it. And behold, I'm with you. I'll keep you wherever you go. I'll bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I've done what I have promised to you. Okay, so the Lord has a plan. So now he's calling Jacob into fulfilling this plan. Hine, take a good look, hands up in the air. Here we are. Anochi, the longer form. The short form we saw at the start was Ani. Now we see Anochi. Anochi imicha. I'm with you. Okay? Same root that's used for Immanuel. Okay? Ayin Mem. Emmanuel is Ayin Mem Nun. You got with you, God, and this one's Imicha. I'm with you. O Shemoreticha, and I am taking care of you. Shomer is to guard. Yeshomorecha, you also find it in the Aaronic blessing. It's the, yeah, Yevarecha, Yeshomorecha. It's the second one, okay? You got Yevarecha is to bless you, and then I will keep you. Shemorecha, I will keep you. I'm watching over you. I'm guarding you. Bekol, in all. Asher, Telech, in all the places you take a hike, okay? This is halach, which you walk. And then, ha, I will cause, okay? Shibitecha, shibitcha, shibot, hold on, okay? Ha, shibotecha, ha, shiboticha. First person suffix form of to bring back. Now, it's a good thing we have this particular sequence here, al-hadama, azot, to the land of this land, because it means back towards this land, because this particular root, the shin bet, can be derived from actually 3 or 4 separate different versions of shin bet. The one that's being used here is shuv, okay? So shin, of course, the suffix disappeared here, but if you looked it up as a root, you'd find it shin, sudik bet, okay, shuv, to return. This one can also be yashav, I will let you dwell, I will make you dwell there, okay, to you, I'll make you dwell. That would be yashav. It could also be Shabbat. I will allow you to rest for you. And so, yeah, there's a lot of possible roots in here. And when we're looking at Hebrew, we have to think of those sort of secondary meanings in the verb, and they're still there. Of course, when you're translating, you have to take the best one. The best one here is the shuv, to be returning. But the other ones have still some impact. And so, yes, I'll bring you back, but I'll give you rest in this place. And yes, I'll bring you back, and I'll let you live in this place. And so those things are still there within this verb. It's I'd say, one of the unique things about Hebrew is that it lets you see the multifaceted things of what's happening. And so this is very true of this particular verb here. Ve'ha shiviticha al hadama, towards the land, this land you're sitting here among the rocks. Ki lo ezebacha, and I will not abandon. Okay, the same azav is to abandon. We see that in the Psalms. Eli Eli lama sabachthani, azav is to abandon. Okay, my God, do not abandon me. Okay, azav, and I will not abandon. Okay, lo, this is a prefix to first person here. This is a suffix first person. This is a prefix to first person. I will not abandon you. Same pronoun ending, the suffix pronoun on both these verbs, but here this one's a suffix verb, this one's a prefix verb. So ezevecha, I will not abandon you. Ad asher im ashti, until when I have done. This is ashti, same as the T here. I will do, I do. Et asher dibarti, again, we're all the way back to suffix forms in the first person. Shivaticha, ashtich, dibarti, as I say to you, and as I do, and as I say to you. So, and this means very literally to say. Well, when God says something, He's making a promise. So that the translation's okay here. Very literally, it would be I'm saying it to you, but this is a promise to you. So, dibarti lech, to you. Yeah. So these are second person suffix, and this one's then the same thing as the second person that carries through here. To you, to you, to you. And then Jacob awoke from his sleep, and he said, "Surely God is in this place, and I did not know." Yekas, okay, boom, he shook himself awake. Kind of if you see the kas, it's kind of like boom, he kind of jumped awake. Okay, Yakas Yaakov, Shinoto, from his sleep, from his rest. Vayomer Ani said, Achen, most certainly. Chen is to be yes, yes, yes. And Yeshus, he exists, there is, was, is. Yeah, it is. Okay. Achen Yesh Jehovah Bamakom, in this place, Ze, Hazeh. This one's a demonstrative pronoun right after this particular noun right here. And so we have Yesh Yehovah Bamakom Hazeh. He was in this place. Be'anochi, well, kept the formal here for himself. Okay. Kind of interesting. We've seen the, I said the formal or the more longer version. I guess I just fall into old habits here. Okay, use the formal. Me'anohi lo yadati, and I didn't know about it. Oh boy. Let's just back up a little bit. So the emphatic version, okay? Okay, use the emphatic version. Anohi, and I didn't know about it. I should put all these in 2 or 3 capitals here in the translation. Anohi lo yadati, and I didn't know it myself. I didn't know it. Surprise. Lord appeared to him, had some good promises for him, and now his life has to take on a new direction. He's not just a guy running away from his brother. He's running towards service now, and as it's going to be a long haul for Jacob. He's going to go up to Padan Aram. He's going to mess a lot. He's going to mess a lot with Laban. Establish a fairly large family with 2 wives and a couple of concubines, and a very long stretch of descendants who established the 12 tribes of Israel. And then he returns, and he gets to Penuel, and he has a big fight with the Lord, which leaves him crippled. It's going to take a lot of work to shape up our servant here, our prophet here, but the Lord is putting his shoulder to it, and he's setting out to make sure this guy who's used to sneaking around, he's going to become a faithful servant to him. Going to do it in a place called Bethel, which in later years took on a very bad reputation of being idolatrous. So even in an adulterous place, the Lord is willing to call his people to service. I find it kind of interesting that Peter and the other ones with him, when they saw Jesus talking with Elijah and with Elijah, they appeared in glorious splendor, spoke about his departure, that is, when Jesus was about to go out to Jerusalem. Jesus is going through a very important step in his ministry. Now, Peter, and those who were with him were very sleepy. They were almost asleep. Then when they became fully awake, they saw his glory and the 2 men standing with him. These 2 are Elijah, representing the prophets, Moses, representing the law, and they were standing with Jesus. And Peter then realized, wow, he had met something very face-to-face as to something very important was going to happen. But it's quite interesting, as I noticed it here, that even at a time of deep sleep, the good Lord is going to be able to speak to us. So Peter found that out, and those who were with him, they came to realize that Jesus was going to be doing something very special for them. So may God bless. If you dream dreams, say the old men, the book of Joel says, the old men will dream dreams, and then yes, it does happen. Hopefully those dreams will lead you into service and confirm them, not just on your own feelings, but confirm them with those faithful servants around you, so that you know that you must go into service to the Lord. So God bless and God strengthen you in this day.